Ladies and gentlemen, Barry C here with another cryptocurrency video, and XRP is ready to skyrocket. It's ready to go to that next level up. Now, interestingly enough, we have seen XRP and HBAR, but mainly XRP, absolutely lead the way in November 2024. Now, keeping in mind, this was after a good solid couple of years of people saying XRP was dead, XRP is not going anywhere, XRP will never be back above $1 ever again. And sure enough, we get to November 2024 and it goes from 50 cents to over $2, $2.50, $2.60, $2.70 in less than a month. And that's when suddenly all the negativity went away. Everyone was suddenly excited about XRP. There was FOMO. And then the start of 2025 happens and we have this mini little bear market within the gap between bull runs. Now, typically you get the first leg up of the bull run, which is October heading into November. That lasts until the end of the year, till pretty much end of December. Then you have January, usually the second or third week of January, till about March of April of the following year. That's usually the second leg up of the bull run, what we have come to know as the alt season. And that's how 2020 and 2021 played out. 2017 and 2018 played out a little bit differently, but that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing 2025 play out similarly to what we saw with 2017. And once again, XRP is leading the way. And this is what I mean by XRP is getting ready to skyrocket once again. And I see people saying things like, well, you know, from 50 cents to over $2 a coin, that's not really a skyrocket. It kind of is, because you don't really see that type of price action anywhere else in traditional stocks or traditional investments. You don't see that type of growth or movement in such a short period of time. Now, here's the thing. If you got into XRP at 50 cents a coin, and then suddenly it's worth over $2.50, $2.60, $2.70, that's a remarkable return on investment. And this next leg up, the alt season, is going to see 93% of the altcoins go parabolic. In particular, XRP is going to see exciting new all-time highs. We could easily see double digits when it comes to XRP. Whether it's $10, $15, $20, maybe even more. And that's just within the parameters and the confines of an alt season. This isn't even taking into account a utility run. Now, here's the thing as well. We are starting to see crypto legislation and laws come to pass, which means that we're going to see a lot of legal clarity and a lot of forward thinking and planning when it comes to cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. Now, all we need is the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit to officially be tied up. There has to be no more legal uncertainty, because once that happens, we now have a very clear path forward for banks and financial institutions to utilize blockchain technology. And the crypto that they are going to turn to is XRP. Now, I did see a couple of things in the comment section from my last video, and I want to expand on some of these comments because I think a lot of people have kind of I think they have a sort of a wrong understanding of where we sit with XRP. Now, here's the thing. Yes, banks have absolutely trialed XRP. Now, banks have been trialing XRP since 2017 until about approximately 2020, right around when the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit was announced. Now, the thing to remember, ladies and gents, is that yes, banks have trialed it, but a lot has changed from 2017 until 2025. Now, let's say banks announce that they're going to utilize blockchain technology and crypto. They are going to turn to the crypto that they have trialed previously, and that crypto is XRP. No other crypto has been trialed by banks around the world at the scale that XRP has. But even if they say, yes, we are ready, we're going to utilize XRP, we're going to use it in the ways we conduct finance, they're not going to say, well, we trialed it in 2017 or 2018 or 2019 or 2020. Let's just assume it's going to be okay. They're absolutely going to have to go back. They're going to have to say to XRP, and they're going to have to say to Ripple, okay, let's put everything in place. We're going to do some trials again just to make sure, because we don't want to launch something new and then it fails for whatever reason. So they're absolutely going to have to test it again. They're going to probably test it privately. They're not going to just change the way we conduct finance by flipping a switch so that suddenly tomorrow everyone has to utilize the blockchain technology. Whether we realize we're utilizing it or not, they're going to have to test it to make sure that it can handle daily, weekly, monthly, yearly transactions, whether it's private, whether it's governmental, whether it's, private businesses, whatever it may be, to actually transfer anything of value, but let's just say money from point A to point B almost instantaneously for a fraction of a fee, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's going to have a little bit of testing just to make sure. But once that they've tested it and it all works and there's no hiccups, there's no problems, that's when you start seeing XRP. It just becomes part of the banking system. And that's when we see a real parabolic run. We're no longer talking about retail investment. We're no longer talking about people going onto exchanges and buying XRP and waiting for the alt season every 4 years to see some price movement. We are talking about all this money. We're talking millions, billions, trillions of dollars flowing directly into XRP, and we're going to see the price skyrocket to at least $1,000. Not financial advice, just kind of my feeling. I think that there's no way with that much money flowing through XRP on a consistent basis, there's no way it stays $3, $5, $10, $20. It has to go a lot higher. And once it goes higher, it just stays there. XRP is going to stabilize at a much higher price point because that's just the way things will be from that point onwards. There's no going back. There's no people suddenly realizing that they missed out on one of the greatest wealth building opportunities of their lifetime. And then XRP is just not going to go, oh, you know what, I'll dip back down. No problem. We'll go back cheaply for all the people who fumbled the bag and made that mistake. Absolutely not. Yes, that's very sarcastic, but that's the truth. Once it's up there, once it's worth at least $1,000, people will be desperate to own a part of the new financial system. Yes, you'll be able to buy XRP, that won't be a problem, but you're going to have to pay a lot more for it. Instead of paying $3.50, $4 right now, you are now paying at least $1,000 for one XRP. And ladies and gents, that's not financial advice. That's just the way it'll work. Because here's the thing, the financial sector, the banks, financial institutions haven't adopted blockchain technology yet. There has to be that complete legal clarity. There has to be those necessary pieces put in place so that when they make that adoption, when XRP is being utilized at a global scale, it's absolutely is going to work. And then once it works, that's just the way we conduct finance. That is the new path forward for our existing financial system. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are some people out there who say, hey, XRP is never, ever going to be worth $1,000 per coin. I mean, these are the same people who said XRP was dead, XRP was never going anywhere, XRP could never be back above a dollar ever again, or back above $2, or never hit $3. There's always these negative parameters, these roadblocks that people say, hey, XRP could never do this, never do that, and they've been wrong every single time. Now, to add to that, we don't have an existing blueprint in the history of crypto that shows what a utility run would be. We've never seen a time in history where banks and financial institutions have said, we're going to utilize this blockchain technology. If anything, it was XRP and Ripple back in 2017 when XRP was first listed as the first ever existing financial crypto. And XRP and Ripple were both saying, hey, we want to be utilized by banks. We don't want to be separate. We want to follow legislation and regulation so that we can be adopted and we can be part of the existing financial framework. No other crypto has ever done that. Not back then, not now. And so once again, we don't have a blueprint. There's no way for us to go back and look at the charts and go, well, this is where banks utilize this crypto. Look how high it rallied. Okay, so there is a potential for 100x or 1000x. Nobody has seen that before. So there's no way, shape, or form that anyone can show you any evidence where they can guarantee that XRP could never rally that high. It doesn't exist. What does exist is that we've seen the positive, volatile nature of crypto. It's the reason why each and every one of us are actually in crypto, to be completely honest, because we want to see that positive volatility. We want the 100x, the 1000x, maybe even more. And the fact that we've seen cryptos deliver those 10x's, 50x's, 100x's, 1000x's over and over, time and time again, and that's just within the confines of an alt season. We haven't even talked utility run. We've never seen a utility run. So even within the confines of an alt season, we have seen cryptos far exceed all expectations. And there's no reason why XRP can't do that on a utility run level. Now, ladies and gents, of course, not financial advice, not saying that, hey, tomorrow XRP goes to $1,000. It's going to take some time. And that's okay. Whether it takes a year or two or maybe more, we know where XRP is heading. We know the path forward. And that path forward is mass adoption on a global scale. Now, as I said, ladies and gents, when we're talking about that level of adoption, we're talking about, like I said, millions, billions, and trillions of dollars flowing through XRP on a consistent basis. There's no barometer for how high XRP could rally. To me, not financial advice, of course, but I even look at $1,000 as quite conservative. And so this is why we have to be prepared. And you've heard me say in previous videos, being prepared in the short term, the mid-term, and the long term, and what that looks like price-wise. Whether short term we're looking at $10 to $20, mid-term, over the next couple of years, we may be looking at $100 or maybe $500. Maybe long-term, 5 years to 10 years, we're talking $1,000, maybe $10,000 for XRP, maybe more. And that's the thing, time will tell. If you were to go back in 2016 and look at the cryptos that existed then and say, okay, well, Bitcoin back then, $330. If you were to say back then, hey, one day it's going to be worth over $100,000 a coin, you would have the exact same response back then that you do now. When people like myself turn around and say, hey, I could see how XRP could rally to over $1,000 a coin or up to $1,000, you'd have the exact same response then that you do right now. People would say there's no way that's going to happen. Then all you have to do is look at the price of Bitcoin right now and go, hey, it absolutely happened. And that's exactly where we're going to find ourselves in the next couple of years when it comes to XRP. XRP is going to hit these amazing price points. And that's why it's so important the decisions that we make right now can put us in a really unique position to make that generational wealth as XRP continues to go parabolic. Now, as stated, ladies and gents, none of this is financial advice. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you're curious about the other cryptos I hold outside of XRP, consider becoming a Patreon. Click the link in the description below, head across to my Patreon page, and consider becoming a Barry C VIP. There you'll have access to all the cryptos I hold, all my portfolios, as well as my buy, sell, and take profit signals in real time.